a quick overview of the Google Ads dashboard with some of the key things that are needed on the daily basis. So let's begin. When you log in, you will most likely be on this screen where you will be in the overview, and to navigate and see where the campaigns are, go and click on this icon, and under campaigns, you're going to see campaigns here. So go here. If you don't see any campaign here, it's quite possible that maybe the campaigns are paused. So let's go back a level. So if the campaigns are paused and you're not seeing any campaigns here, then just click on this campaign status and select enabled or all. So if you select all, you will be seeing all the campaigns, including deleted ones. If you select enable, you will see only active campaigns which are enabled. And if you select this one, you will see enabled and pause, but not deleted ones. Same with the ad groups. So you have the same settings for the ad group level as well. And you can also select a campaign from this here. These are where most of the navigation will be found. They used to be at the top here in the old version of the dashboard, but now they are shifted to the left side. We still have the notifications here. So if you go into the account daily, just make sure you click here just to see if there's anything important here, like any ads is approved or anything else which might need your attention. And if there's a billing failure or some other serious issue, Google is going to typically show you a bar here like this one. This is fine because we know none of the ads are running, but just for information, like you might also see billing notifications here. Okay. And then the rest of the navigation is on the left side here. And each of them is a section. So campaigns is one section where you will see lots of information here. And then there's like goals where you might find conversions and other stuff here we will cover shortly. And this is where you can select the time range. You can select the time range from these default ones, or you can also select from the calendar right away, like this one. And you can also enable comparison. So if you select a time range and click on compare, then you can select like compare with previous period. So it's going to compare with the same time, like same number of days before the current selection, like this one. So you can see it's comparing the same number of days here, and you can select previous year. So it's going to select the same dates, but last year, and you can select a custom comparison as well with this way. And you can hide or show the graph using this button here. And you can select the graph metrics from here. So right now, because we don't have any stats in the campaign, we are not seeing any graph here. Otherwise, you will be seeing like graph of clicks and impressions and everything here. And if you want to look at weekly, daily, or monthly, or quarterly, you can select adjust here and time period. And this is going to show you like how to view the graph for daily, weekly, monthly basis. Okay. And if you find the graph to be like small, you can expand here, and it's going to like give you larger area for the graph here. And if you don't want to see the graph, you can just hide this. Okay. So this is covered here. Now let's go into some of the KPIs here, which is where we will see columns. So most important columns for you are going to be impressions, clicks, CTR, CPC, and cost. And then if you have set up conversion tracking, then you should also look at conversions, cost per conversion, and conversion rate. And if you are not seeing your desired columns here, you can click on the columns button, modify columns. And here you will see all the information for the columns here. Google by default might have selected some columns, and if you want to remove them, like campaign type, you can click on the cross here. And you can also rearrange these columns. Like if you see impressions first, you can drag and drop it here. Impressions, click CTR, CPC, cost. And like if you want to see conversions first, click here, just drag it. Okay. And then if you want, you can also save the column set so that every time you want to look at a specific set of columns, you will be able to find them quickly. Okay, we're not going to go into much detail on what these stats mean. Okay, this is just a video for the navigation. And if you want to see what search terms your ads appear on, you can get some of the reporting here in the insights and reports search terms. We are looking at the account level here we're not inside any campaigns, so that's why we're not seeing, we will see stats for the entire account here. If you want to see stats for a specific campaign, you can just go into any campaign and then navigate to this section here. So if you want to look at search terms, just click on search terms here. You will see what searches your ads triggered. Basically, this is a bit different from the keywords. And if you want to see when and where your ad showed up, the devices and the times and what websites, if it's like an audience campaign, like a display on YouTube, and you can see what locations your ads were shown on the match location. So this is about the reporting. This is different from where you set up these, which we will come to in a moment. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So let's take a look at the basic campaign structure now. Let's go back into campaigns. So in Google Ads, campaigns are made up of ad groups. So if I go into any campaign here, like this one, I will be seeing ad groups here, and ad groups are made up of basically two main entities, which is keywords and ads. So if I go into ad groups here, now I will see keywords by default here. And if I want to see what ads are running in the same ad group, so if you look here, this is the ad group here, create Google Ads campaign, and I can go into the ads here. And if I'm inside an ad group, then I'm going to see the ads only for that ad group. So this is the ad, and the previous one was keywords. So these keywords and ad combine together to make an ad group, which basically means that for these keywords, that ad will be shown, which is in the same ad group. Okay, so that's how Google structures these campaigns. So if you want specific ads to appear for specific keywords, you have to put them into the same ad group, basically. And then there is another concept of assets, which was previously known as extensions. These are basically extensions to the ad, so they don't always appear. They might sometime. So this is how they might appear if you want to check. Like your ad might appear here, and then this is an extension set up in 15 minutes. So this is how Google is showing like the headline 1 and the headline 2 and the description from the ad. And then this call out extension might appear like this here. So if you want to see how a specific extension might appear, you can just like go here, and then if the extension is set up, it's not set up here for the most part, but if it is set up, you can look at the ad view, and it will show you how it might appear here with the ad. But these are assets, were also known as extensions previously, and they don't always appear, and they have different rules and policies and also limits for the character. Okay. Now, when we go into the keywords, there's another important thing here that we must check, and that is negative keywords. So if there are specific variations of the keyword that you don't want your ads to trigger on, then you must add them as a negative keyword, and this is where you access that mainly. There's another way as well, but mainly you can go into the keywords inside any campaign and then navigate to the negative keywords tab here. And for example, I've added PDF as a negative here. So you can add a negative keyword here. And that will mean like if anyone searches for something where the search contains the word PDF, your ads for this campaign or ad group will not appear. If it's added at the campaign level, then it won't appear for the whole campaign. If it's added at the ad group level, then it won't appear for only that specific ad group. Okay, let's go into the settings part. So when you are inside any campaign, you can go into the settings for that campaign here. So right now we are inside this campaign, as you can see here. If you're seeing a campaign name here, that means you are inside that campaign now. So you can navigate to the campaign settings from here as well. And this is where you can edit the campaign name, and you can select what networks it will appear on. For example, search networks, search partner, we don't typically run them now. The quality has declined quite a lot. So you can exclude it here or include it if you want. Similarly, you can set the language here. If I want my ads to appear only for English users, I can select the language here. I can select the location here, the budget, bidding, and some of the other advanced settings as well. And once you make a change here, there is typically going to be a save button for each change. Once you save it, then you don't need to save it anywhere else, like it's saved now. You can also navigate to the same campaign settings by hovering onto the campaign name, and there you will see this campaign settings link, the gear icon here as well. It opens up the same thing. The good thing about this icon is like you can also access it without going inside a specific campaign. So even if you're at the account level where you're seeing all the campaigns, you can just hover on any campaign and then look at the campaign settings for that campaign easily without going inside the campaign. If you want to see what device or ad scheduler ad is running on, typically you would set them when you are setting up the campaign, but if you want to later like change them or look at them, then you can go inside any campaign, and then from this left menu, just hover on this one and go into the ad schedule, and this is where you can see the schedule here, and you can also edit it from here if you want. For the locations, they are currently changing it. So in some of the accounts, you might see it here or somewhere else. In this one, this is an old account. So for this one, if I want to change the settings, I have location settings, I have to go and change them here. But if you want to, there's like multiple ways now. So this is the original way where you change the locations, and the advanced search, from what I remember, like they have changed how you do the advanced search now. But this is where you can change the location, like add or remove anything here. And for the device level, you can go in here, and this is where you can adjust the device adjustments. So if you want your ads not to appear for like tablets, you go here and decrease it by 100%. Okay. Now we move on to the billing and some other things quickly. So if you want to see your billing activity, this section is all about the billing. So you can look at the transactions, you can look at the payment methods you have set up here, you can add or remove any payment method, make a payment here, and in the documents you can look at, because we haven't had any billing, so there's no documents here at the moment, but you can look at the documents and see how much they charge and for what dates and everything here. If you want to give someone else access to your account, you can go into the admin here and then access and security. And this is where you can add more users into your account, and you can select what type of access level you want to give them. So this is the access level which you can look at in detail if you want. And if a manager account sends you an access request, then you're going to see that access request in the managers tab. And if you face the error of not allowed domain, then you will have to go into the security section and add the allowed domain, add a domain as allowed domain here. Okay, and finally, we're just going to look quickly at the account settings. So these are account level settings, like the account's time zone, which you don't get to change, I think, more than once. And then there's some other settings like auto tagging, which you should always turn on usually, and some other settings here like auto apply, ideally turn it off. And if you want to see how much traffic you might be getting for a specific keyword, you can go into planning and keyword planner here. This keyword planner is going to show you how many searches happen for a specific keyword for a specific location. So if you want to do some planning and want to add new keywords or check like how much traffic you might get for new keywords you might want to add, then you can go into the keyword planner here and check it here. This comes from tools and then planning here. Okay, and if you want to set up conversion tracking, then you go into the goals and conversions here, and you can go into the summary and then set up new conversions here, which is the whole like large section. So we might make more videos on that later on. So this is a quick overview of the dashboard